Greetings friends, it's Zera, back with another video. As promised, I'm delivering you guys the Blackwing Lair video, and this is going to be all about kiting. This is not so much going to be about fight-by-fight tactics. I'm probably going to do a video series on that, breaking down each fight, or I might do all fights at once. I'm not really sure how I want to do it. Let me know in the comments if you guys are okay with super long videos, super long breakdowns. I kind of like that style of video, but not a lot of people like it, and sometimes the YouTube algorithm doesn't like it. So I need y'all's support to hit the thumbs up button and tell others to subscribe to the channel so that we can beat the machine. Okay, so we're in Razor Gore's room. We just downed Razor Gore, and this is not really anything extravagantly involving the hunters. I just like to start here because we're going into Vale's room. This is where we start having to deal with our first set of pulls after we down Vale. But the first thing I want you to notice is that, you know, we're all grouped up here, and this is to help maximize the amount of elementium ore we get from these goblins, because the more goblins you kill, the better off you are. So we're literally just setting this up for success. So here we're literally just gonna run in, and as fast as we can, we're gonna chase these goblins. We're gonna kill them. I can't even actually get footage of when we're killing them. There they are right there. So we're pulling now. We do a DBM pull. Rogues sprint in. Hunters got aspect of the pack going. Mages are blinking. Druids are sprinting or dashing. And we're just killing everything we possibly can as fast as we can. So that's literally it. I mean, that's all there is to it. Now, we're going to go ahead and fight Vale. We drop Vale. Okay, so that went a little too far. All right, so for this pull right here, the first thing we're doing is we're going to be pulling these Seethers. So this Seether right here, oh boy right here, I'm fixing to pull him right now. This cat right here with this blue marker is a Death Talon Seether. Now he has an AoE called Flame Buffet, which is pretty similar to what Firemaw has. It's an AoE that goes out, I believe it is a 30 yard range, so it's a 30-yard range. It does 1,000 fire damage, and it stacks, increasing all fire damage you take by X amount, and it's a bad day if your raid gets hit by this. So our job as hunters is to kite this SOB down the staircase into Vale's room and just keep him busy until your raid cleans everything else up. All right, so I'm going to pull him. There's a couple of things to note. I did make a mistake here. You're going to see it in just a second. Actually, you may not. I don't know. The cooldown may have already fallen off. First thing you want to note, and you want to make sure you do this yourself. When you pull this cat, you want to make sure you've got Aspect of the Cheetah enabled, and you are don't activate Aspect of the Cheetah until you round this corner like I just did, because there's a strong chance that you might, by just pure happenstance, you might lag for like a split second, and the game will think that you're inside 30-yard range. You'll get hit with Flame Buffet, and if you have Aspect of the Cheetah, this is going to be over before it even gets started. So round that corner, get LOS of this, or get out of LOS of this thing, then pop Cheetah and haul your butt home. Now, notice here, you see the mistake that I made is right here. This Frost Trap, ain't no way in the world that thing's going to hit that Frost Trap. No way in the world. Mobs are always going to take the route of least resistance. They're going to take the shortest route to their target. So he's going to hug this wall super tight, super tight. So from now on, I'm going to know, hey, I need to put this trap in. I need not be derping on this. But the one thing that I do, another thing that I do right, and I want you guys to make note of, is how tightly I turn this corner. Just turn that corner and just haul rear end. Now we're going to turn the corner. We're going to turn the camera here. There's me, and shout out to my girl Unicorn. She's my hunter sister in God Tier Gaming. She's awesome. Love playing with her. But like a lot of other hunters that didn't do this stuff 15 years ago, you know, she's trying to get ahead of the curve here, and there's a lot of learning that needs to be done here. So love you, Uni. Hope you enjoy this. Hope this helps. But you got to make sure that you try to stay as far away from this mob as possible. So I feel like what her mistake might have been, because there's two of these mobs that we got to kite. I feel like the mistake that she made was she waited to shoot. She shot once I had already shot and turned to run away. She wasn't strafing and shooting at the same time to keep pace with me. She's a good 10, 12 steps behind me, and look what happens as soon as this dude crosses the corner. Mine's the blue one, and I'm light years ahead of him. Hers is the yellow one. As soon as this dude turns the corner, boom. She gets hit. She has aspect of the cheetah. She's dazed. End of story. Now, I do want to note, a lot of people are probably wondering, Zera, why are you not just jumping the ledge here? 2 reasons. Number 1, jumping the ledge is just not a smart play in my opinion, because you have all of this room on the platform to run. And if you cut the corners right, you do everything right, literally jumping over the ledge is not going to lose you any time. It's not. You're not losing or gaining anything from jumping the ramp. You're really not. So, number 1, it doesn't really save you any time. Number 2, there is the possibility, and I know this from experience because you're going to see it in just a minute, because I caught this on film. If the pathing gets a little wonky for these things, it will completely reset that entire pack. Like if you kite them too far away, which I do here in just a second, you'll see that. Like if they end up getting like on a really wonky part of a platform and they start coming and going and coming and going and coming and going, that can reset the entire fight, and the entire pool is going to be completely wasted. You're going to waste time. It's going to piss people off. So in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, don't jump off the ledge. Kite them the old school way. Do it the way it's meant to be done, and you're most likely not going to have any problems whatsoever. Now notice, she gets hit, and she has no choice but to feign death or just die. Now, I want it known here that I had thought about running straight ahead here and kind of lining up underneath this staircase. Problem is that if I do that, I did this is week 2 footage. Week 1 I did that, and as blue was coming over my head and I was going underneath him, even though we were like, I was on the ground level and he was on the second level, he melee swarmed me and I was dazed, and by the time I knew what was going on, oh boy had me. He was right in my face, because all he had to do was just come down the stairs, do a U-turn, and I'm right there in front of him. I couldn't get away. So my recommendation here is to do what I did and not go right. Instead, just cut all the way across the room as fast as you can. Yes, you're going to get hit by the flame buffet, but it's a 3-second daze. He's still got, look how much further he has to go. He has so much further to go. Just re-up aspect of the cheetah. Now here's the thing. Somebody pulled thread off of me. Now, I don't know how. Nobody's attacking this guy. I'm wondering if maybe prolific popping bloodthirst or whatever else near him is what did it. But literally all it required of me to do is just hit distracting shot, hit multi-shot, and away he came. He came chasing right after me. So, now, this is where it doesn't hurt me here. It doesn't cost me anything here. But eventually, this decision that I'm doing right now ended up costing us, and we have to redo the entire pool. So I kite this guy all the way into Razorgore's room. Now, normally, this would be a brilliant idea. Absolutely nothing wrong here. Very smart play here. And I'm going to go ahead and feign death before he even gets anywhere near Razorgore's room. And this is something that I want to note. Flame Buffet has nothing to do with what's targeting you, because look, Death Talon Seether is targeting our priest Nutty, and I get near him and boom, I get hit with Flame Buffet, and that's it. So just keep in mind, you want to try and stay away from this thing as long as you can. And now all of a sudden, there he is. Tank's got him. We're going to burn him down. All right, so that's pull number 1. And now pull number 2 should be literally no different. Should be no different. You should be able to just grab him and go. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here. We're doing loot from Vale. I'm going to come over here. All right. So I'm watching Unicorn. She pulls. There's Unicorn right there. I've got her targeted. She's pulling blue. She gets him, and she just turns around and hauls ass. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do it. The only thing that I would suggest, and you need, again, if you're watching, this is what I would recommend. don't shoot and then turn to run. Try to strafe past these guys. Like, go wide around them. Like, instead of standing here like you were and being stationary and then shooting and then turning and running, get wide. Get out here wide of them and get close and just kind of strafe past them and shoot while already on the run. I know it sounds really, really stupid, but I promise you, if you've already got movement, if you've already got momentum, you shoot them on the run, by the time the arrow gets from your 40-yard range to the mob, you've already moved 4 or 5 more yards further away than you would if you'd shot and then turned to run. So just keep that in mind. Every little bit helps in these situations. All right, so she turns the corner. She's already got Cheetah active. And I'm just watching. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing damage. I'm watching. I'm observing. And you hunters out there, I'm telling you right now, I know a lot of you guys, you want to top the damage meters. That's fine. Do you. But for me, I tell my hunters all the time, do not just go ham on mobs, especially when you know you've got another hunter in your group that is performing some kind of utility, because you never know when you need to step up in an emergency situation, and this is exactly what happens here. Okay, so this is what I think it is. Yep. So it didn't happen to me. I thought it happened to me, but it happens to Uni. Uni does a great job here. Pulls this guy, gets him all the way downstairs, pulls him in the Razor Gore's room. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. However, the part about this that sucks, and this really, really sucks, is the simple fact that we pull him too far and that happens. Completely reset, and he didn't just reset, but they reset the entire fight. I'll show you in just a second. We get up here to the top, and guess what? There's skull, there's square, there's triangle. They're all back. So now I don't have a choice. Uni's not up here. Uni is still in Razor Gore's room. She's trying to make her way back up to us. I don't have a choice. I have to target the Seether, and I have to get his attention. So now I've got his attention, and now I've got to run. So I jump the ledge because he's too close. If he hits me, it's over. So I let him get past me. Now see right here, this is what I'm talking about. He melee hits me while I'm on the bottom floor, and he's on the floor above me. So just be wary of this, and don't let this cost you. But in this case, I know he's still going to go all the way down the platform, and I'm all the way on the other side of it from where he's going to come down at. But now I know, okay, I can't pull this guy in here. So what the hell am I going to do? Well, I got to keep him in here. Well, how am I going to do it? Well, I literally just guess I'm just going to have to... Now, see, I use my pet here. My pet's attacked him. My pet's got flame buffet, so my pet's got aggro. So he's attacking my pet. He's attacking my pet. Now, instead of pulling him all the way, like into Razor Gore's room, like all the way on the other side of Razor Gore, I'm literally just pulling him in here. Now, I encountered the same issue that Unicorn did, except I handle it a little bit differently. I'm not sure if Unicorn did notice it at first, or maybe didn't really know what she was supposed to do. Maybe she just Fiend Death and she thought, okay, he'll just reset and we'll be fine. But notice that I get all the way over here on the other side of Razor Gore's room, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want this guy to reset, but he looks like he's being physically active. Oh, crap, I've been hit. I might be in trouble here. Let me go ahead and get off Cheetah just in case. Okay, there he is. I'm attacking him. He's moving. He's not moving again. Oh, now he's moving. Turn and look. Is he moving? No, he's not moving. Okay, run back. Oh, he's moving. Turn back. Make sure he's moving. Blue doesn't really seem like it's moving. Let me run back. Oh, no, he's moving. He's moving. And he looks like he stops again. So just keep, see, right here. And that's exactly where he stopped before. He got stuck under the door, and he didn't want to move. So you got to make sure you stay engaged with him and keep him moving. See, now he hits me, and now I'm thinking, okay, now I'm genuinely screwed. Now I don't have a choice. Now I have to Fiend Death. He's back inside Vale's room. If I Fiend Death, he should not, quote-unquote, should not reset the entire encounter. So I'm going Fiend Death. And now he's running up. Okay, perfect. That is probably the best way you're going to be able to kite this out. There's no real other way to do it. You've got your two options. You can bring him into Vale's room, and you can bring him down the ramp, and then as you come down there, and as you come off the ramp, and he's following you, you run across the other side of Vale's room, and you run up the other flight of stairs as he's coming down the opposite side. And you literally just do that. And you literally just run figure eights around him. Now, you can do that. That's an option. That's not one that I personally chose to do. I'll probably experiment with that one next week. Or you can do it like I did it. You can kite him, you can snag him, you can pull him, run him long ways, and then get him in the Razor Gore's room and kind of just, is he moving? No, shoot him. Is he moving? No, shoot him. Is he moving? No, shoot him. Just keep him engaged. Make sure he doesn't fully reset the entire encounter, and then get him back in Vale's room in time for you to feign death, and you're good to go. Either option is going to work great. And shout out to my sister in the guild, Unicorn. She's BA. She's awesome. She's getting so good at kiting these things. I'm very proud of her. It only took her one attempt to get it right, or one attempt to learn it, and a second attempt to get it right. I mean, it's beautiful thing when you see it all coming together. So, and I hope that this video helps you guys out. So these are the Seethers, and that's how you kite these things. So let me skip ahead to the Suppression room. All right, so the Suppression room is pretty straightforward. Literally what our goal here is to mark where all the Wormkins are. So if you notice, from my position to the back of Suppression room, you're going to notice skull, X, moon, triangle, diamond, square. And it's 6 targets. And every single one of them are Dragonkin. So what you don't want to do, the last thing you want to do is you'll notice you've got 2 orc packs. You got one back here in the far back, and you've got one kind of up here coming up the front. So mark these in order of succession. You want to take out the dragons is few. You want to take out one dragon at a time and one orc pack at a time. You don't want to try and pull these both at the same time. Now, the whelps, you're just going to have to deal with them as they come. Try your best as a hunter to try and wait until the Wormkin or the orcs are, not near an enormous pack of whelps, because if you pull one pack of whelps and they're too close to another mob, like for example, if I go ahead and pull those orcs right now, most likely they're going to come charging from that position. They're going to aggro the whelps around them, and then the whelps are going to aggro the Wormkin skull that's around them. So you want to make sure that you don't create this domino effect that ends up pulling the entire Suppression room. All right, so we've got everything marked. We've got everything set up. And I told them, like I even said this, there ends up being a miscommunication. I'm like, okay, the orcs are right in front of me. I'm going to go ahead and pull them because, they're right here. There's no Wormkins around them. They've got and they're right in the very front of us. Let's go ahead and pull these guys. Well, as I'm saying that, our raid lead for the Suppression room ends up miscommunicating and thinks I'm saying, okay, we're going after the Wormkin. Well, I end up pulling the Wormkin, or I end up pulling the orcs just literally as we attack the Wormkin here. So again, communication is key, but not that big a deal. We end up doing everything just fine. I tried to feign death to reset the orcs. Didn't work. It got resisted. It happens. But we ended up sheeping, and we cleaned up house very, very nicely. We never wipe in the Suppression room so far. It's probably the easiest part of this entire dungeon, just so long as the hunter that's pulling, or the warrior that's pulling, or the rogue that's pulling, or whoever it is that's pulling, understands that you don't want to create this domino effect by pulling a mob that's close to another mob, that's close to another mob, that's close to another mob, because that's exactly what's going to happen if you're not careful. So, case in point, prime example, I've got a few whelps. I'm not too worried about the whelps, but the last thing I want to do is get this Wormkin next to another Wormkin. So before these two cross paths, I'm going to go ahead and pull that cat real fast, and just as he pulls, the other one starts to come closer to his original position. So pull him, AoE down the whelps, and then burn down the wormkin. So this is, or the hatchers as they're known. So this is very straightforward. This is not too terribly difficult, and literally you just work your way up the side. You work your way up the side, and I'm doing exactly what I've done from the very beginning of the suppression room. I'm keeping an eye on the mob's health. Once I see them get down to about 35-40%, then I'm moving ahead, scouting ahead, checking for whelps. No more whelp packs. We killed the last dragonkin. Is there an orc pack? Is there an orc pack left? I don't know. I can't see. Is there one? Is there one? I don't think so. I don't see one. I don't see anything. Okay, it's nothing but whelps right here. All right, so now that I've got whelps, I tried to feign this so I can lay down an explosive trap to help with the AoE damage. It doesn't work so much. But now that I see there's a whole lot of AoE going on, I'm thinking, okay, now we've got an opportunity to clean this room up in one big old fell swoop. So I'm going to go I start using multi-shot. I start using Serpent Sting. Anything that I can to get the last bit of the whelps in here so that we can just AoE burn everything down. So as the hunter, your primary goal in the suppression room is simply to just look ahead, because warriors, rogues, feral druids, tanks, healers, they're all focused on what's going on right in front of them, keeping sure everybody is grouped up, safe, even casters, mages, warlocks, so on and so forth. Everybody's focused on AoE and what's right in front of them. You as the hunter is the one that's going to pace this room out considerably. And it will most likely be, if there's a script, it's most likely going to be you. Because either you pulled something you weren't supposed to, or you didn't read the pace that you guys were going at and you jumped too soon. Just communicate with your raid leader and figure out what that pace is and go with it accordingly. This entire time, you can't see it or hear it, but this entire time I'm talking to Scooter, who's raid leading the suppression room. He specifically raid leads during the suppression room. He's a rogue. He's the one coordinating who, deactivates the trap, so on and so forth. So at this point, we're making our way up to the second floor of the suppression room. Just whelps. Nothing different here. Nothing too difficult here. Now, we get into the second floor of the suppression room, and this one's a little bit more straightforward, honestly. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that Broodlord's right there on the other side of the suppression room second floor. So you just got to keep in mind that you don't want to aggro him, you don't want to pull him, you don't want this domino effect to lead all the way back up to his feet. So just stay close to the wall. You'll be fine. Once Hatcher gets down to about, 20% or so, I get into a position to be where I'm pulling whelps. I notice, okay, we've got maybe 2 or 3 whelps. Mana's doing well. There's the next one. I'll mark it. I'll reach up here and I'll pull it. The whelps that come with me will get taken off by the tanks. They'll eat up AoE. And here comes that Hatcher. And it's literally just a feeding frenzy. Like you're it's like you're going fishing. You throw out that Serpent Sting rank 1, you reel in that bull with the Hatcher, and you trust your DPS. As long as you know they're actively performing AoE, you can bring in more whelps. Like, there's no question about it. You can bring in more whelps. As geared as people are at this point in the game, AoE is not a problem. A couple of Hellfires, a couple of Blizzards, a couple of Arcane Explosions, a couple of Holy Novas, and, Holy Nova doesn't exist currently. But you get my point. Like, this crap's going down very quickly. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and skip ahead to the end of the suppression room. There's Broodlord. Broodlord's not that big a deal. We clean up the rest of the suppression room after the fact. All right, so now we've gotten to my next favorite part. All right, so the lab packs are pretty straightforward. The Death Talon Overseers, or what I like to call your polearm or warglaive guys, they are going to have vulnerabilities. So your job as the hunter is to scout out 3 separate elements: nature, arcane, fire. Those are the 3 elements that you yourself can test. So the only ones that are really left beyond that, nature, arcane, fire. Yeah, nature, arcane, fire. So the only ones that are left beyond that, that's going to, amount to anything, is going to be things like frost or shadow, so on and so forth. But those 3 you need to test. You lay down an immolation trap, you use Serpent Sting rank 1, and you use Arcane Shot rank 1, and just see for yourself, okay, based on what I know how much damage this is supposed to do, how much damage does it actually do. If it ends up doing only like 1 damage, then you know, okay, he's not vulnerable to this spell type. But if you're using like a rank 1 arcane shot and all of a sudden it crits for like 1200, you're like, oh, okay, this guy's immune. This guy's vulnerable to arcane damage. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a rank 1 serpent sting here. And notice I'm not turning and running like I normally do. I'm like strafing so I can like see if I can catch a number running across his dam. There's a 1. I know it's a 1, and I'm telling him it's not serpent sting. It's not nature damage. There's the immolate trap. It's set up properly. There's arcane shot. I see it's a 1. I know it's not arcane. He's not vulnerable to arcane. He's not vulnerable to serpent sting. Pinhead pulls aggro, and then I have to come in here and use distracting shot, multi-shot. Okay, he's got immolate trap on him. Keep an eye on him, keep an eye on him, keep an eye on him, keep an eye on him. I don't see any yellow damage. I can't tell what his vulnerability is because I have to keep strafing because the damn raid titles or raid bars are in my way. Okay, so now I see a 26. Okay, now I know it's not fire. These are the kind of things you just got to keep in your head. Like, you just got to keep thinking, okay, is it flame? Is it fire? Is it nature? Is it arcane? You rule those 3 out for your casters. So when these guys get back, they have some kind of an idea. Okay, we know it's not any of these 3. So now we know it's going to either be shadow, it's going to be holy, or it's going to be shadow, holy, and frost. So now I'm going to go ahead and fiend death. He's going to run back. I report back to my main tank, hey, oh boy coming back. Gives him plenty of time to get in position, intercept him. Easy go, easy come, easy go. When he gets back to the tank, you turn on to the spellbinders and just burn them down. Now, the rest of these lab packs are pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here because, good grief, we were wiping on Firemaw for a while. But we eventually get Firemaw down and move on to clearing full BWL. Let me go ahead and just skip ahead here. Like, literally, we were wiping for a long time on this dude. All right, finally, we're done. All right, so it's funny. It's been 2 hours on Firemaw, and then you end up clearing the last little bit of BWL in like an hour. It's kind of ridiculous. All right, so the same thing here. Death Talent Overseer is another situation of similar ilk. You just immolate trap, immolate trap, serpent sting, and arcane shot. Figure out what they're weak to. Kite them into the next room. I'll give you kind of a brief, overview what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him right here. Let me see if I can get him. Okay. Oh, that's what it was. So Unicorn's trying to kite here. This is what I remember happening. Unicorn tries to kite here, so I'm laying down a frost trap to try and help her. I didn't get a chance to tell her to lay down an immolate trap. So Unicorn, if you're listening, you want to use an immolate trap on these guys so you can see if fire is what they're vulnerable to, and pull with your rank 1 serpent sting and kite with your rank 1 arcane shot. That's what you want to do. Now, somehow he drops threat. I think because Floor was casting holy spells and casting healing right there on Dom, literally, as this thing was going by, and it pulls threat off of Unicorn. And Unicorn's like yelling in Discord, like, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So this goes back to what I was saying earlier, what I wanted to say earlier. If you're a hunter, I get it. You want to top damage meters. You want to do well. You want people to think you're a BA. I got it. Remember, though, in Classic, we are a middle of the pack, and at times, just underneath, really good damage at the end of the day. Yes, you can do engineering. You can do all these little, metas and meme specs and whatnot to really make the most out of it and get really high damage. There are people who are hunters that parse higher than a lot of warriors and rogues do. But here's the thing. That's not going to last. Our damage is going to subside while everybody else's just continues to grow. It's going to happen. That's how Classic WoW worked for hunters. Remember that we are a utility class. If I hadn't been paying attention, that Overseer would have been running rampant throughout the entire raid. So knowing that Unicorn, and again, she did everything right here. She didn't do anything wrong. Just so happened they just pulled aggro, and she probably didn't have distracting shot off of cooldown to pull threat. So keeping an eye on that, I was able to adapt. I got distract shot off I hopped aspect of the cheetah, and I haul rear end out of there. Now I get aspect. I get that. I fiend death because he's right on top of me. So now what do I do? Well, this goes back to what I talked about earlier. My pet's on him. He aggroes my pet, and then I distracting shot, and I pull him, and now I'm back at range again. So now I'm able to do my thing. My pet's attacking him, my pet's attacking him, my pet's attacking him, my pet's attacking him, trying to just get some threats. See, he attacks my pet. He used conflag on my pet and not on me. That's a big difference. So now I'm just creating gap. I'm creating gap. I'm creating gap. Now notice I don't go all the way down the stairs here. Or actually I do in this situation. Because because it almost happens again. I end up not realizing, oh crap, I could reset this entire pull, and that would be really, really bad. Because our entire raid would be completely out of position, and it could wipe us. But thankfully, lower room is clear. I fiend death. He resets. I'm like, oh crap, not again. Not again. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Now I've got to, oh god. Now I got hit with conflag. I'm going to shoot him right now. I shoot him. I get aggro again. He's coming. He's evade bugging. I keep hitting him. Keep chasing me. It's just one of those really wonky things. Like you're not supposed to pull these cats all the way down the stairs. And now my guild member's like, Zera, where the hell did you kite this thing to? I'm like, the moon and back. So just make sure that if you do happen to have to do something like this where you got to recover a situation as a hunter, you do not want to get into a situation where you end up wiping the raid because you're too good at your job. So keep your head on a swivel. If you see something go south, adapt to it, figure it out, and just make sure that if you see a mob start to glitch like that, get yourself back into into position to like keep him aggroed, keep threat on him. That way he doesn't reset the entire encounter. So now that he's back up on the top floor, I'm like, okay, I'm good. The entire raid's come back to the initial door from Broodlord's lair, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna run right through here and let you guys have him. So that's it. I mean, that's it for the lab packs. I mean, there's literally like 3 more of these, I think. We come up here. It's the same situation. There's another overseer up here. It's the same exact situation. You simply immolate trap, and when here I use a frost trap, and you just get up here. I think at this point I come wide. Now I do want to say something right here. Don't in Unicorn, this is something that I've noticed that you do, okay? So you don't want to just run up the stairs willy-nilly and just shoot. Keep your head on a swivel. Use your, 3-dimensional, acuteness to judge for yourself where's the best position for me to get into. For me, I know that if I go left, those goblins are right there. Bad juju. If I come straight up the stairs, well, I'm going to be surrounded. If I come wide right, then I'm going to be able to maybe jump and shoot just at the tippy top of my jump. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Still doesn't work. So I got to go to the top of the stairs and pull this way. Now I'm running. Now I came wide to shoot because I didn't want to pull anything else. I want the tanks. I want Dogship and Elise to pull. I don't want to pull any of this aggro. I want one guy. That's all I want. Give me him and we're good. Now once I've got him, the raid's already encountered everybody else. Oh boy chases me. I keep him up. I just shot him with Arcane Shot, hit him for 48. I know it's not Arcane Shot. He hits the Frost Trap. Now I want you guys to notice he does not slow down at all. Not even a little bit. The aura pops up and he doesn't even slow down. Not even remotely. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if maybe he did activate the Frost Trap, but by the time the aura actuated, he was already out of the radius of the trap slowing effect. I don't know, because typically when you see right here the Frost Trap aura is on a target, that generally means they're slowed. But based on the simple fact of what little bit I saw, he didn't look like he'd slow down very much at all. Alright, so I've got him in this room. Now, the beautiful thing about this is the fact that since we're on the other far side of the lab pack room where we pulled Fire Maw from, you've got that much more room to run with. So by the time I get to the end of the hallway, or by the time I get to the end of the, higher level suppression room, they're like, yo, Zera, go ahead and Fiend Death, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. So I literally just kind of, and this is what I recommend everybody do. Come in here, get around this corner. This is kind of like along the same lines of Dire Maul tribute runs. You don't want these things right in your face when you Fiend Death. So get them about 25, 30 yards away, then Fiend Death, and let them run back. And keep your butt back too, because you have no idea, because I've seen it happen before. These things are, raid mobs in particular are very fickle. They'll think anything is an aggro, increase. So if you run up on him real fast, he could literally just turn and either conflag you or charge you or just altogether just mess you up. And you've got no backup. And, of course, I've got Elixir and Mongoose, and that's really the only consumable I've got. We just spent the last 2.5 hours wiping, so I didn't really want to use Ground Scorpio Desai or anything like that. But my point is that if you've got really nice raid buffs like, Songflower Serenade from Felwood, or you've got the Onyxian buff or whatever, you certainly don't want to waste it. Be smart about how you're doing this, how you're interacting with these mobs, and trust in your raid team to take care of you. By the time this guy comes back, our entire raid team's cleared everything. We wipe this dude out, and it's good to go. Now we get back up to we do the same exact thing here with this exact situation. I run up here, we clear these guys out, we run up here, there's another Overseer. I do the same exact thing, no different. Let me scoot back and I'll show you. I came up here, I pulled him, I cut the corner. Oh, Arcane Shot, crit, 110. Okay, it's definitely not Arcane Shot. Serpent Sting. Does Serpent Sting do a whole lot of damage? 1 damage from Serpent Sting. It's definitely not weak to nature damage. So again, this is just an afterthought, something you want to keep in mind. And I'm announcing again to the raid, it's not Arcane, it's not Fire, it's not nature damage. I get him here, I run him to the far end, I Fiend Death, it's good to go. They bring him in here, he dies. Up here, same thing. You've got a grand total, I think, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think you've got 6 Overseers that you're going to have to kite as a hunter. At the end of the day, it is quite literally the same approach. You get that appropriate angle where you've got a wide angle on him to avoid other mobs, so your raid can aggro them while you're aggroing this guy from another really far away angle, and you're out of your raid's way. That's primarily what you're going for. You're already shooting, already on the move. You're on the move, you're strafing, distracting shot, and just haul ass. You round the corner, aspect of the cheetah, stay LOS of him. As soon as he gets within LOS of you, turn aspect of the cheetah off and kind of just play judgment game. Again, Immolate Trap, Arcane Shot, Serpent Sting. What's he weak to? Is he weak to anything? I think at one point I ended up hitting something with Fire Trap and it ends up doing like well over 1,000 damage per tick. It's stupid how much damage it did. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave this be. That just about does it. That just about wraps it up. The only other thing that I want to say is for kiting in Blackwing Lair, the only thing that you got to do is just practice. Practice makes perfect. If you've got a hunter in your guild that is really skilled at kiting, pull them aside and say, hey, man, what is it you're doing different? Like, help me out here. Or better yet, just say, hey, I tried this didn't work. What works for you, kind of a thing. And I'm not saying that these are the best tactics. I'm not saying that what I'm doing is 100% foolproof. It works for me. And like anything else in life, find what works for you. If you want to take what I've done here, what I've shown you here today, and take it and mold it to fit your skill set, mold it to fit your raid team or your raid makeup, whatever, go for it. All day long. All day long. I encourage you to do that. Try it out, see what works, and I wish you guys the best of luck. But for me, guys, that does it for today's video. we're closing in on over 40 minutes of recording time, so I'm sure I'll have well over a half an hour of footage to give you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be looking for next week's BWL video on Tuesday. I'm going to break down how we as hunters encounter and deal with each fight with live footage, where my thought process is on certain things. And you're actually going to really like the Fire Maul fight, because we wiped so many times. By the time I got to the end of the Fire Maul, I had a damn near foolproof system for keeping your pet alive and keeping consistent DPS going throughout the entire fight, including when you have to step away out of LOS to lose stacks. Really awesome. All right, guys. Love you all as always. Be sure to check out all the links in the description below for deals on Amazon, Audible, SkillShare. Get 2 months free on SkillShare to learn any kind of skill set you want or improve on ones you've already acquired. Supports the channel and it's free of charge. I call that a win-win, boys. I'll see y'all in Discord and in my next video. Zera out.